about that, but I'm learning a lot with you guys, from you guys. Cool.
It's like a, is that a big pink coral coming up in the upper, off just slightly off to the right?
Oh, yeah. That one could be worth a look. I was looking in the lower camera, it's off to the right.
Should be pretty much dead ahead of the porch now.
Can you pan up a little bit? Just get the porch out of view.
Absolutely.
It's right in front of you.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
really
it
pretty.
is.
It's like got this bonsai tree
Yeah.
vibe going on.
So what's this one, Megan?
I think this is a Paragorgia. Let's
That
look at the
lower
polyps.
is pretty.
It's
Beautiful.
one of
Okay.
those more.
You can push in.
Pushing in.
Wow.
Keep going.
It's got a lot of snake stars. Yeah, this is a Paragorgia.
Yeah.
You see how the base is a little yellowy?
Mhm.
Yeah, I see that.
And the ends of the branches have a cluster of polyps instead of paired polyps.
Okay, go wide. Was that enough?
Yep.
That was great. Thank you, Gabby.
Is that branches of the same coral that's broken off on the floor next to it? Or you think something else?
I don't know.
There's a pretty
Maybe.
large
No.
coral to your port
Usually the
side.
branches, broken off branches don't look like
You
that.
can see it in upper.
Yeah.
It's over there.
That one?
A lot
Yes,
of this
right,
stuff is old bamboo.
What about the branched one I'm seeing in lower?
Yeah, I think that's
bamboo?
the same one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a bamboo.
I end up too much off in the cabbage if I go there. Could chase bamboos all day.
Mhm.
These bamboos are so long. Be like chasing them forever. All right. Bridge nav. 20 more meters, 147, please. Thanks.
At least we're done with the super steeps for a while.
Yeah,
Looks like.
we should be for a while.
For our watch, I think, probably.
Yeah.
Can you pan down a little bit so I can see what the rest of the slope looks like? See what the rest of the...
Hey, Sarah. Shout out
Okay, I
National
guess our
Marine
next-
Sanctuary of
I
American
guess getting
Samoa.
up on the ridge is the next steep part.
Yeah, so
Okay, cool. Maybe we'll see it on this watch.
oh, did you want a scoop of this for Adam?
Yeah, actually, this would be a great place. Push core, actually.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, stop the ship, I guess.
All right. Bridge nav.
And
We
there's a
hold
big
position.
coral, maybe, ahead.
Is it coral or
The-
just a big lump of rock?
I can't tell actually. It's white and grey, but
Mhm.
that's
I think it might be one of those big boulder-sized pillars. that we've
it
seen.
might be a boulder.
kind of in a rocky zone of this.
Mm.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
wait till I've got a little more space to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
And you'll be coring off the starboard side, and the blacker the better, Gabby,
Yeah,
for
okay.
when you choose your landing site.
What's that white thing? Sea
Polytherian?
cucumber? Yeah.
Oh, look at the trails through the sediment. Just
Yeah, sea
Yeah.
That's
cucumber
wild.
trails.
that's very cool.
There it goes. It's gonna go swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pan down so we can see
Oh,
the
is that
fish?
There's another halosaur.
in the top left? Yeah.
Cool, thanks. Cup coral on the pillow over there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can I have 2 starboard cameras?
Absolutely.
You're asking why is the slope flat? Is it because we're on top?
Yeah.
And
So
then get me
although the
sample
mountains,
salvo?
it's basically a series of cliffs and then plateaus
Mhm.
on top. And
Oh.
so this is the sediment, but this dark material is
Oh,
because
that's a fun one.
Are
when
we
the
doing 1 or 2 here?
let's just do one
Okay.
in case we get a chance to do some more further up. So the dark color is because it's evidence for there being explosive volcanism at some point. So the rocks kind of shatter,
Mm-hmm.
and so then they rain down. It's like sediment, but it's this black color because it's actually volcanic rock that's exploded, and
Shattered into smaller pieces.
so we collected some samples from the very top, from around the rim at about 700 meters. But this dark coloration suggests it may actually be extending down this deep. So we'll collect a sample here, and then somewhere else, sort of halfway up, maybe like around 900 meters, and split the difference between the 600 meters at the bottom, and this is the deepest where we've seen evidence for that kind of stuff.
We've got a visitor. It's a nematocarcinus.
Oh, right, the gangly jaws. Just make this that much easier.
Santiago and maybe Val, if she's listening in the lounge, this is pretty rewarding, right? I know we're making slow progress, but since we're seeing so much,
Yeah.
do we have permits from the sanctuary that we could do is it an option to suggest to Adam that maybe we turn it into 2 dives, or is it just this has to be our last day to be here?
I don't know.
Or could we extend this dive? Could we make
Right.
it longer, more hours?
I suspect there won't be much sampling capacity by the time we get to the top of the hill the first time we're seeing so many things.
Yeah.
I think we've filled 3 or 4 of the slope chambers already, and
Yeah. That's a good question. I think it's a good thing.
I figured
Good
it's
question
a
for
good
Adam
question.
and Derek.
Well,
Yeah.
it starts off, it's a good question for you and Val to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Oh, I don't
the-
think we have any constraints on our permits. I don't know about the operational side.
Sure. But I saw your note, Val, and I know Santiago's been thinking the same thing of.
It's not going in over here.
There's
I don't know
lots
if
to be
it's deep
seen,
enough.
right?
I'm
Even
gonna
on the
go.
first
I'm
section.
gonna bring this around front, so at least I have a
There
chance
really
to look
is.
at how
It's
it's
been
working.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not stick in the tube, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if it doesn't stick in the tube, it's not a great candidate for a push core.
Right.
I mean, I can try and recover it fast, but I can only go so fast.
Mm.
So I know you guys want this from the starboard side just to be speedy, but I need to see how the
Okay.
sediments respond.
Right.
Because I
Got
couldn't
it.
push it in.
Yeah, maybe the sediment's just not thick enough to actually do it,
Yeah.
right? Oh yeah, it's just a dusting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
No, let's
all. It's like
shake it.
a
I would
couple
shake it
centimeters.
loose and stow it,
Okay.
and we'll try again further up the hill. It's funny, yeah, I thought when I saw the riffles, I thought there was going to be enough actual material to make that a go.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Well, I don't know. You never know.
Nope. Thanks for trying, Gabby.
Yeah.
If only I told you you couldn't do it, you'd have found a
Yeah, I
softer spot,
know.
right? That was,
You just played your cards wrong.
it's just like, yeah. This is like, oh,
It
Gabby's
happens,
totally
you
got
know?
this. Yep.
Nobody's faulting you.
The
like,
complacency gods tracked me down. Why should anything be that easy? If it was that easy, it wouldn't be worth having anyway.
yeah, right.
That's what we'll tell Adam. Yeah, wouldn't have wanted. That was
was an
not the
easy
explosive.
sample.
That was not the explosive volcanism samples you were looking for.
Jedi mind trick.
I suppose it might not even be. It might be. No, you can. In the Arctic, they found evidence for explosive volcanism at 5,000 meters down on
Yep.
the mid-ocean ridge. That if you get enough gas in the
Yep.
system, it can.
It can go. $5,000 is pretty deep for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of remarkable, but that's what it was when they got the samples. It was one of those things of looking with a camera of like, if you didn't know any better, you might think this stuff looks like the stuff that we know is due to explosive volcanism in shallow waters. Put the cork back in the bottle. Don't want the wine to go flat before we get it back on deck.
And there's a shrimp going around it.
A curious shrimp.
Yep.
That's the next book. What was the first book? The Snail and the Holothurian? Oh no, it's the Crab and the Anemone, right?
Okay.
Those sounds like children's novels, you know?
Yeah. That's what I think. Like the Curious Shrimp should be book 2 in the season, in the series. Okay, onward and upward. Oh, did you want to look at that cup coral?
Yeah, we can look at that
Megan,
boulder
that was
in
on that
front of
boulder.
us
Yeah.
and check it out. And,
Since we're here.
I'll get a move on.
Yeah, sounds good.
How far are we
Bridge
from
now.
waypoint? Oh, wait.
We're about 200 meters from waypoint 2, I think. We're like kind of halfway.
Yeah.
What do we see?
You can push in a bit. A bit more. Looks like somebody hid
Oh,
an anemone or cup coral or somebody just
Mm-hmm.
pulled in. And a shrimp.
Shrimp
Oh.
and an anemone and a dead coral with some ophiuroids on it.
It's a whole party.
and there's
cool.
something underneath that shelf that's slightly lower.
Oh, is that another
you see
shrimp?
its tentacles
Oh, yeah.
or antenna or whatever that
Got its
is.
little eyes.
Yeah, I see it. So dandelions siphonophore is actually my favorite creature.
Yeah.
My favorite invert. And we got one of those and an umbellula on this side, so I'm set.
Yeah, you've got
Set
some
for critters.
great critters going.
I find umbellulas to be weirdly unsettling, but I think dandelion siphonophores are just perfect. Go wide.
Tell us more about why you
Oh,
find
look
umbellulas
at the
unsettling, Gabby.
Sponge.
I don't know. They're
Is it just the way
very
they walk?
symmetrical, and they're very branching. They're translucent. They're soft and squishy. They're just, I don't know. I would think of them as being like a crinoid, except they're not a crinoid. So it's sort of like crinoid uncanny valley, which I find unsettling. Crinoids are pretty unsettling to begin with.
Can we zoom this?
Yeah, go for zoom. You want to see a sponge?
Yeah, I want to see the sponge.
Okay.
Can't tell if it's just like unhealthy or if
going.
it's something different. Oh, it's something different.
Like what kind of different?
So you see how it's got all these like little threads going into the sediment, so it's like rooting itself
Yeah.
into the sediment.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. It's a weird one.
So you don't know what it is?
It could be a farinamatid. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you want it?
It could be worth collecting.
I mean,
Would you
I started
slurp
moving
or
this
buy a
shit.
box it?
I mean,
It would have to go in a bio box. We can't slurp that.
oh, okay.
It's a little bit big for a slurp, I think. It's different. It's cool.
Yeah.
Go wide.
Did we put in a move, or is the ship stationary?
I started moving us, but I can stop us.
If you want to sample it, that's probably what
But
we should do.
I think, well, we've already got most of our move down, and
Oh, okay.
Atalanta will overtake us, so.
I like the idea of sampling, yeah.
You like the idea of sampling
We
it?
can sample
Yeah.
it.
Okay, we can sample it. Bridge now.
Even though I love octocorals, I'm on a crusade of
Can I
increasing
stop here?
sampling of undersampled groups like sponges and black
Okay.
corals. And
Do you think it'll be heavy enough that we can you zoom down or pan down
Yeah, it should be heavy enough that it'll sink.
till I can see the porch?
Hooray.
Perfect. Oh,
it
yeah,
should
go
just-
wide.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it should just pop right out of the sediment.
Yeah. Everybody knew what was going on there but me.
No, I wasn't sure.
there's a boulder field, and you can see an upper. It's
Is
pretty
it fragile or
impressive.
squishy?
It should be
There's
squishy.
something sitting on top of the
Yeah, yeah. The next
But
boulder
the
along.
from the
stock
boulder.
Yeah.
will be quite firm.
Got a good
That'll be
little
another one
firm.
of the same thing.
So
Is this going in the front bio box?
it should pop off just like
I
the
think it's going to go
the
in a
black coral.
side box.
Yeah,
There's
side box would be
some,
fine.
very odd, specific grooves in the
Can
floor
you,
here.
pan
Doesn't look
down
like current ripples.
and
Sorry.
video, can you zoom in?
It's slightly before they tilt it up. There's some very specific parallel grooves. They're really narrow.
Yeah.
They're not normal like current marks.
No, I
Maybe
think
stuff
it's
rolling
just,
down
I
the
think
hill.
it's
Like
just the
a
gravity.
spherical
Yes, I
gas,
think
but it
that.
looks a little different than
So
that.
the darker sediment's probably coarser, and it's got lighter stuff on top of it. So then when
Oh,
the
it does
stuff
not
rolls
wanna come out,
down, it's
actually.
kind
Oh,
of
I'm
it's probably like
impressed.
scraping off some of the lighter stuff and leaving like a dark scar.
Yeah,
It's exposing
That's
what's
cool.
Whoa.
Okay, it's going to be heavy. That's nice because it's got the sediment on it.
Yep. It should just
Long
Oh
hard
no, don't shake
video
it. It's
zoom
out
out.
of the sediment
Go
sample.
wide and
Attached to a...
bring
Can
the
you
starboard
go-
bio box out.
Yeah.
Data, I heard you say something. What's up?
Yeah, you go to either of the 4 small ones, A
Yeah.
through D.
Sounds good.
All right, bio box. Let me know when you want samples.
You can go to sample salvo.
$240, right?
Yes, 240.
So did I put something in any of these at all?
You put a big rock in the big box.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 small
The
ones are
first
all.
ones are all open.
Yeah, that's right. I did hear you say that, and then it just went in one ear and out the other.
That was the third one back, is that right?
Third one back.
Great.
Nice.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabby.
Yeah.
So is that C, Chris?
Yeah, you
who's
can
third
put
one
that
back?
down as
Yeah,
a
back C.
Ferronematidae. That's it with a PH.
Ferronematidae.
Yeah, you can bring me back to the regular salvo. That's great.
So in the upper, there's a couple of interesting things that might be worth taking a look at, Gabby, when we set up.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Looks like a
I
Really
was
smooth
definitely
ride.
impressed
Pink
with how
coral
rooted
on
that
that.
was.
Yeah, no kidding.
And is that a tiny lobster?
Where are we looking?
It's a little...
There's
Something.
is it a pink coral to the left and a
And
sponge
this-
maybe to
Oh,
the
yeah.
right?
Is a lobster of some
Go for zoom.
sort. Or shrimp.
Oh yeah.
Coral. Something with
What
legs.
is that?
As we get closer to it, it gets weirder looking.
I thought it was a squat lobster at first. and
It's
now
an
just-
anemone?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's different kind than what we've been seeing.
Cool. Okay, go wide. And then you wanted to look at this, I don't know, Paragorgia or something?
And is that a sponge on top of the rock to the right? Let's look
Oh
at this
wow,
first.
there's
But
Anthomastus,
Oh.
there's...
Is this a
Santiago did
Niskin
want
kind of site?
an Anthomastus.
Okay,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
think you'll be better to
Add it.
Did you
sample
just say something?
shallower.
I was just asking if this is biodiverse
Okay.
enough for them to want a
Oh,
Niskin.
okay.
if you lateral right, Gabby,
Okay, we
there's a
can wait on
boulder in
Anth-
upper that's got a
Anthomastus.
sponge on top of it, I think maybe?
Okay, we don't have...
We're not moving.
Okay. Never mind. We're good. You were looking for a
Over to the
sponge?
right, to the right.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, there's a
you don't
boulder
mean
in
this
upper.
right? I thought for sure I was going one of the rights.
You gotta do port starboard.
If you, yeah, starboard, in the positive direction.
Actually,
if you
right-
rotate in the positive direction,
Yeah.
then straight ahead in upper,
Yeah.
there's a boulder with something white on top of it.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, it's
a
bathypathes.
bathypathes.
Coral. Okay.
Everyone avert your eyes.
From a distance.
Evil bathypathes.
Yeah, that's okay, thanks.
Okay.
I was still on the quest to find sponges with snails inside from
yeah.
yesterday that we never delivered.
Okay.
It's really
Are my
common
cameras
occurrence,
set up
but
in a
no, I
reasonable
don't
way
think
right
we've
now?
ever sampled
Yeah,
them.
you are just barely looking above the porch.
Okay, awesome.
If you want to see your porch, let me know.
Yeah, no, I'm good for right now.
And video, we're zoomed out without the iris?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah,
on
you
the
can
edge.
see a little vignette in the
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
Um,
Or without the vignette.
yeah.
Words.
Okay. Everybody happy to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
There's a Venus flytrap anemone on that coral.
Oh, neat.
It was messing with my brain for a second there because I was like, how is the coral in front of and also behind the rock at the same time?
Say a Magritte painting if he painted the deep sea
Right?
instead of horses and forests and trains.
Close.
I don't know. My brain's pretty scrambled right now. That's why I couldn't tell right from left.
Bridge now.
So if you could phrase your
We'd
instructions
like to move
in the
20
form of a
meters,
surrealist
147.
painting.
I'll do your side,
I was
my
go-
side.
well, I was doing it through performance art in the back row, but I guess I forgot you
I
don't
can't
have eyes in the back of
see.
your head. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was lost.
Can we replace left and
You'll
right
get
with
it.
Ryan and Megan?
And then we'll switch seats. And then she won't
Especially,
know.
Yeah.
especially because my name kind of sounds like right, but I'm on the left. That would be
And Megan
great.
sounds like left, but I'm really scrambled, guys. I'm struggling. Paragorgia?
Could be.
We take a quick zoom. It might be the
Quick
hemicorallium.
zoom. Let's have a zoom.
Zooming in.
I really like this little outcrop too.
Oh, it
That looks more like hemicorallium.
hemicorallium.
Yeah. So we were seeing hemicorallium and Paragorgia that
Go
looks
on.
similar to Tuila around this depth.
Hmm.
That very first dive.
What's that black thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I will look.
It's suspicious.
What do you suspect it of?
I don't know. It's just a weird color compared to the
Crimes.
rest of the
Deep sea
things.
crimes.
Deep sea crimes. It's black. Like, is it an animal or is it just a scraped
Go
off
for
part
zoom.
of the rock?
Going for
You never
zoom.
know.
Or is it a portal to another dimension?
Or it's another one of those things that keeps getting weirder as you get closer.
I love that as a description of a thing.
It looks three-dimensional, but it
Yeah.
doesn't look alive.
Could it
Yeah.
be old coral with manganese oxide on it?
I don't, is this rock old enough for that?
This mountain's been a while growing, I think.
Well, nothing
That's
else
really
seems
weird. I don't know.
coated.
I'm going to say it's not alive,
Okay.
I would
Go
agree
on.
with that.
but
Maybe it just doesn't, really doesn't want you to know it's alive.
it doesn't want me to
Mhm.
know what it is. It's strange.
We'll just drive by and we'll see it swim away in butt cam.
It looks like Niskin 3 did trip.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Well, at least it went in a good place. There's
You know
a
what
lot
we
of
should have done?
diversity there.
We
So.
should have
did
turned
in a
off
good
starboard
place.
and port lights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
that's
To be
say
able to see whether
Yeah.
it tripped or not.
Well, it does mean that from our Niskin budget, we now only have one more for the whole ascent with the original plan. But obviously that can be rechanged
That's why we have the revolutionary plan.
to get another dive. Maybe we should fire them all and be like, oh no.
Cup crawl?
That's an enemy, Hormathiid.
Cool.
They tend to be orange.
That's cool of them.
And at some level we should be grateful because it was only because we worked so hard and got 24 hours ahead of schedule this week that we got this dive. So
Yeah.
on the other hand, when you
Yes.
explore and you find something really good, you don't
Way to
necessarily
look
have
at
to
the
rush
bright
away.
side, Chris.
The sleepless nights
Look
paid
at the
off.
bright side. What's this guy over here? I would have said Anthomastus if it wasn't so huge.
It is
Go for zoom.
Anthomastus. You're right.
Massive.
Go with your guts. It's not that big.
10 centimeters.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like the normal size.
Oh, okay. It's a normal size
It's
Anthomastus.
a normal size Anthomastus.
It was just really close. Go wide.
Well, it's hard when everything else looks really small.
I can't deal with this right now.
And more of those hormathiid anemones. I'll keep us moving.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bridge now. We would like another 20-meter move, 147.
Oh, there's big things coming up in the...
Oh, there's a lot of
Anthomastus.
Anthomastus. Oh, and there's a nice Trissopathes too. See, that one's much bigger.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's just not very close?
Those are polyps? I mean, what is it? Corals?
Mushroom corals.
Yeah, they're
Mushroom
the
corals.
mushroom corals.
Thank you.
The most broccoli of the corals.
I think if a broccoli looked like that, but green, I would not eat it. But
It would
reckon
eat
they
you.
would
Some other
be edible?
soft corals might be more broccoli-esque, like the Jersemia,
I
with a
think
little broccoli.
texturally though,
Texturally, probably not.
I don't think you guys.
soft
I don't
corals.
think you
Soft
guys
and
are taking
squishy.
broccoli seriously enough. You know, it's like I'm feeling very disrespected.
Well, you've got me and not my sister. My sister takes broccoli seriously.
There we go. That's not remotely vegetarian diet there.
that's Chris's like requisite for dating someone. Is like, do you take broccoli seriously?
Yeah.
First question.
And third.
And third.
Actually, 20 years
there's
later, that's still...
The second
Flapping
one is,
around
what are you
over the
laughing at?
Niskin.
Oh, what is this floaty thing?
Ooh.
Hello, friend.
It's a fish.
Dead?
Okay,
Is that a Halosaurus?
that's a Halosaurus.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
With a little upside wings.
Yeah, that's how they swim.
They're playing dead.
They kind of like to go
They're
head
just
down.
hanging. Literally hanging.
Yeah,
You're not on.
they just chill.
For this
so
sort of stuff, you can be above 14 meters. Just do whatever's
Perfect.
comfortable for your...
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, that like 10 to 14 seems to be like really perfect for the vertical walls.
Yeah.
But otherwise, just do
Cool.
whatever you're comfortable with. I saw you like very, very specifically keeping 10 to 14, and I was like, dang, she's
Oh
good.
no,
but-
I've been doing like 12 to 18.
Okay,
sort of thing
cool.
lately, so.
Got our friends from National Marine Sanctuary American Samoa tuning in. Hey, how's it, guys? Malo. What was that?
Sorry.
Do you think they're jealous of you and Val being out here,
I don't know.
getting to play on this game, and or are they
Is that
just
good?
quite happily watching along from home anyway? So
I think a lot of us are afraid of getting seasick
yeah,
and being away for this long.
yep.
Yeah.
It's been a long time away from home. Huh?
Did you get any seasickness while you were out here? Or were you fine?
I think kind of when we were transiting.
Especially when we were getting started, there was some
Yes.
journeys when we were going
Yeah.
into the weather and bouncing around. That was, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little
I-
spicier at the beginning of our expedition.
I definitely lost my sense of humor some days.
I really enjoy the rough weather days. Not from a science perspective, but from a rolling around in a boat. It's so much fun. But I feel so bad for people who get seasickness.
Yeah.
It looks,
I think
yeah.
the transit we did yesterday to come back here when we had the seas behind us, that was just like,
I think
that's
I've
my
gotten used
perfect
to it.
experience
Lots of fun
of like,
looking at enemy.
you're getting pushed along, and so it's like, it's not like the ship's fighting the sea.
Mhm.
It's like they're kind of in harmony together, and so the sea's kind of rolling you a little bit to
Well, there's
side
two
to
different
side, but
kinds. I think there's an Actinurnus and whatever this other one is.
Go presume.
Go, I presume.
What is it called?
Oh, actually,
an
Oh,
act
is that
of
a jumping in
kindness.
enemy?
no.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
it's not.
another anemone.
They jump?
The lower left one kind of looks like the jumping anemone.
The purple ceranthid.
They
is
sprung
the
loaded.
Jumping one.
Just poke them and they go
Yeah,
boing.
so the one on the left is Actinurinus nobilis, and the one on the right, I think, is also an actinid,
Go wide.
but it's a different species.
And they're anemones?
Yeah, there's an
Yeah,
anemone that if
anemone.
you disrupt its flow state, it makes a run for it.
Yeah.
And then it swims and it's super unsettling.
No, but you know what's really crazy about that is it's in the family of tube anemones.
Okay,
So generally they
I'm
live
coming
in
up pretty
tubes,
fast
but
now.
that one doesn't make a tube.
okay.
And the very first time we tried to collect it, yeah, it just like jumped away.
jumped.
And everybody was so surprised
Because
because
you're like, what?
we thought it was like, gonna like suck down into a tube. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
gonna just like start swimming
So-
away.
Yeah.
Gabby,
it's-
this Taylor's will be a warning that you've got a cliff coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm
Yeah.
heading up fast. And that sort of matches with, this one's not going to be as steep as
Yeah,
previous
it's not
ones.
as steep,
Not according to the contour lines.
Yeah.
but you never know.
But yeah,
Maps.
thanks for the heads up.
Local
Maps,
highs
maps are
and
never
all.
wrong, right? Like Wikipedia. Absolute truth.
It's never led me astray.
There's been quite a few of the red shrimp swimming past in the last minute or two, maybe 4 or 5.
Okay, cliff face, are you ready for your extreme close-up?
This is a great view where you see how steep it is.
Mm.
We're 75 meters from waypoint 2.
I have a really long question here from Canada. What percentage of marine snow gets consumed by marine life? What percentage gets formed into rocks? Are there any other geological or biological mechanism that deal with that
Do we
rain or
need
sediments?
another move, or do you want to let this one ride out?
Let's think.
Okay, cool.
It's overall, it's a tiny proportion of marine snow that makes it down to the deep sea floor. Excuse me, I'm just going to cough. And I'm back for the rest of the answer. So there's a thing called the Martin curve. It basically says that the amount of organic carbon that actually makes it down with depth drops off really steeply in the shallow ocean and then kind of goes asymptotically, like constantly low. So it doesn't just decrease regularly with depth. So
Got the octo
it's a
cap
tiny
floating
proportion that
around
gets
in
down to the
Yeah,
bottom
it
of the deep
sure
ocean.
is.
But once it's there, there's not a lot of biomass in abyssal plains, but huge amounts of biodiversity. There's all kinds of different adaptations of things that are trying to eke out a living, so not much of the carbon actually makes it to be preserved in the rock record. If it does, it's more as calcium carbonate, as shells, but the organic carbon, the actual stuff that's of life, tends to get reconsumed by filter feeders and scavengers. The only time, sort of like the exception to that general rule, there are things like in the North Atlantic, a feature called the spring bloom, where suddenly there's a pulse of biological activity on the surface ocean at the start of spring, just like in somebody's garden in somewhere in the northern or in temperate climates. And within about a month, you see this huge change in how much material is arriving
never
at
seen
the
that
seafloor.
before.
See, suddenly people have done things with time-lapse cameras, and you can see all the stuff suddenly like arriving at the seafloor, and then everything that does live there comes out of their burrows and goes crazy of like it's harvest time for them and consume the whole thing. So
Interesting. How far off is the ROV between the ROV
Ooh,
and the...
look
Ooh.
at that Xenophore.
Scare you.
Did it-
The ROV from the seafloor? Is it a few
it's a few meters.
meters?
Let's see if I can see Gabby's altitude.
My
think
altitude,
it's like it's
the
normally about
back of the
3 meters or
ROV
so.
is like 4.5 meters up. The front of the
Right.
ROV is probably closer to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And why are the rocks small now compared to where we were earlier?
That's because we're coming up to the base of a cliff, and so the further down they've fallen, the more the rocks have smashed into each other and broken chunks off.
Smaller.
So the further they've traveled, the more broken up they get. And so we're just beginning, we've been seeing lots and lots of patches of rubble. We're just beginning to see little bits of solid rock that are in place here, with this stuff draped onto them. So I think we're about to come to a slightly steeper pitch where we're going to see broken open ends to the rock lava flows, and that's the stuff that's basically where things have fallen off the end there, that's what's rolled downhill. So when we were seeing the hillside which is completely covered with those angular rock fragments, that's what told us that there should be, you know, they had to come from somewhere. So there was probably something much steeper coming up. And that's exactly what we've just driven into now. This isn't the most dramatic, although it is still dropping away to either side. But we actually had some real, you know, some tens of meters of vertical cliff we were climbing up earlier.
Think we can do another?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm game.
Bridge now. Can we get a 20-meter move, 150?
Point 3 is working great, even for the steeps.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's like my happy speed.
Yeah, I like it too. I've done some seamounts with Dan where we went 0.4.
It's like, oh my god.
That's an
It feels like a
adrenaline
lot.
rush, huh?
It feels like a lot. It's on brand.
Yeah.
But you can definitely get there.
Oh yeah, you definitely get there. But it's like, we're going so fast. Then we stop.
You probably don't get to see much along the way, do you?
What's that?
Probably
No, but
limits how
sometimes-
much you get to see on the way.
Yeah, sometimes you just want that like passing glimpse, and then you give it to
Mhm.
Megan, and she finds like 1 pixel, and she's like, ah, Umbellula. Ah, hemicoralia. I'm like, that was a pink blur.
You see enough pink blurs in your life.
Is there a reason that so many of these deep sea organisms have a pink or red color, Megan?
There has been discussion about that. Some of the color that you see in the animals are sort of carryover from shallower waters, and they don't harm the animal, so they maintain it. Certain animals have different pigments because they have, they produce chemicals that keep other animals from predating upon them. Generally, the pink and purples don't really give much advantage in the deep sea, but
Yeah.
red is the new black in the deep sea, so it's harder to see if you were in those spectrum of colors.
Yep.
So there are a lot of reasons why there could be this really vibrant color where you wouldn't expect it.
Sponge, you think?
The white?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's zoom that.
Go for zoom?
Going for zoom.
Might be an urchin.
Oh, like a dead urchin, hey?
Could be a live one. They come in
Really?
white.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a pancake urchin.
nice.
There's lots of little white things on the rocks in front of us.
Lots of white things.
It looks like
In
the little
upper?
Q-tips
Yeah.
almost, yeah.
It's
Or
just
in
like drifting.
Oh,
lower.
Okay, go wide.
looks like another one of the tall bamboo corals dead ahead.
Oh, yeah. It is very long.
Go for zoom.
Going for zoom.
There's a Paragorgia. It's a lot easier when they're really that dark color. Then you know for sure it's Paragorgia. This
Okay.
hemicorallium around here don't come in that color. But you can see that yellow base.
Oh, yeah. Go wide.
Going wide.
There's more of the Enelopsomia. We're pretty deep for Enelopsomia. I guess it's alright.
Can you give me a reset?
Of course. Send and reset. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Alright. Bridge nav. We would like to move 20 meters, 160.
Can you bring your head around? Through 160? Probably pretty close already.
Yeah, I'm at 147.
You're just adjusting to stay on top of the ridge.
Yeah. Kind of like sort of fell off the side there, so it's
Yeah.
like, let's bring us back in.
Megan, Veronica says you rock.
Megan does rock.
Oh, thanks. Well, there's a good thing there's a lot of rocks around here.
Literally.
Do you know if Adam has any other rock samples he wants from this region?
He
Um,
wants all the rocks.
He does,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of rocks.
There is. So I'm thinking 3G is a good waypoint to think about it. I mean, I think because of payload issues, we can only carry so much anyway.
We took a big rock.
We got a very good rock at the start.
Yep.
And
Yeah, these rocks are very heavy.
the top of the whole seamount is around 600 meters. We got that
Yep.
first one there around 1400, so some midpoint,
Something in
like
the middle.
900 to 1,000 meters, and that would also be because the from that 1,000 meter up is probably for the intercomparison of inside and outside.
Yep.
That's kind of where the biology becomes even more valuable than it's been already.
Yep.
For this dive. So
Wait a little bit longer and
think-
then have another look.
yeah, I think get that much further upslope before we stop and do anything, because rock sampling can be pretty time consuming as well, trying to actually get.
Find a good one,
Yeah.
break it off.
So I think for the rest of this watch, the closer
Okay, I
we
think
can
after
get to
this we'll
waypoint
start
3, the
doing
better.
South moves.
Okay, sounds good.
I think that's the other thing, is because it's not just a how do we want to spend our time with one dive or another. We need to not get complacent of thinking we can just dive whenever we like. Because while that
Yeah.
was true at the
You can
start,
see either side of
didn't
this
look-
No,
cliff.
we can't. We are
This
at the
is
very
very
Yeah,
end.
you're
cool.
doing a great job
Dangerous,
centering us
yeah.
on this. This is tricky navigating.
yeah, do you need like one of those like tightrope walkers balances across the front of
Yeah.
Herc as well, just to
It reminds me
just
of hiking
tiptoe?
along a mountain ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty wild seeing it disappear off into the murk.
Yep.
Yeah.
You think this is wild now, you wait till you see Gandalf standing in front of you going, they shall not pass.
No, we just gotta wait
It's
for
like,
the
haha.
Balrog.
He doesn't know
Oh,
we've got
gosh.
the cheat move where we just like go vertical and go over the top and down the
Could
other side.
happen.
We
Like,
don't have a
We're on a
Gandalf,
volcano.
do we? Who's our Gandalf?
Kind of like hiking in the rain in Scotland. Like
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
very
I
similar.
think it's Derek.
You think it's Derek?
Yeah,
Gandalf?
Derek could be our Gandalf. He's wise.
You think he's, think he's ready for the Balrog?
Well, he's been coping with Bob. That starts with a B.
This is really wild.
This is fantastic, isn't it?
Look at
This
this.
is amazing.
It's so neat. I'm like getting way ahead of myself because I just want to see where it goes.
Yep.
It's like we're
Well-
walking down a secret path.
We have a long way to get up, so that's
Yeah,
Yep.
this tongue goes on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
How long is it? A couple hundred meters?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like 100 meters.
It's like a catwalk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't be an ambi-turner.
Herc is definitely an ambi-turner.
It would be hard if it wasn't.
Yeah. But not a full
Don't look down.
360
Don't look down, Gabby.
No.
You'll lose your
Gotta
balance.
Get your grabs.
Keep looking ahead.
I definitely can get vertigo looking over
Mhm.
like a big cliff with a vehicle.
Do you ever get vertigo when you swim?
When I what?
When you swim?
No, I don't get vertigo when I swim. I grew up swimming though, like a lot.
You didn't grow up driving.
I didn't grow up driving ROVs. Yeah,
You're gonna start pulling me around soon.
yeah.
I guess you don't get views like this while you're swimming, right?
You do if you're over a
That's what
sea,
you're
like a
really
wall
clear.
underwater reef or just a steep reef.
Didn't have a lot of those in upstate New York, I'm guessing.
No. I think mostly the thing that gives me the most vertigo when I'm flying is following a cable in midwater.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like focused on this one thing, and you have it's not constrained at all along the cable. Like you can't tell where you are along the cable,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got to stay a certain distance from it, and it sort of like comes at you and goes away, and you want to focus on the background, but your eyes like move back to the cable. It's a very disorienting scenario, and that definitely gets me vertigo.
It was interesting, there was a buttress feature like this on the inside of the cradle wall. I remember it was just like between two watches because Adam came running past us all when we were having
Yeah.
dinner one evening, I think it was. Or was it just after we'd come? I can't remember when it was actually, but he came running back and like, there's something really interesting, but you won't care about
It
it.
actually might be an interesting tool for the navigator if, and you can contradict me, if you track where I am and then report your heading to Megan, that can give her the heading of her next move so we can
Well,
keep
I know.
following the tongue.
Well, I can see her heading.
Okay. Yeah, you can see her heading, but if she follows mine, you can get a number.
Oh, okay.
Is what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. If you've got other ways of queuing on that, that's totally fine.
Oh, you mean
Kinda-
like track Herc with my heading?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. But it sounds
Yeah,
like
because
Megan doesn't need it.
you can
so.
look down on Herc and you can see the
Yeah, I've been
features. You can see
watching
which way the feature's going.
sonars and
Okay,
then
cool.
the feature
Sweet.
and where
She's
you
got
tend
6
to
other
go.
ways to know.
That is a steep drop.
I've done
Up.
some hikes on ridges that look like this.
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
Upper is pretty awesome
Yep.
view of like how narrow it is. Gosh, what a cool feature.
It is really
And there's
cool.
a fish in upper as well. It's a cool yellow coral off to the right.
Oh yeah, it's another one of those scleractinian corals. Oh, look at this squat lobster on his little coral.
No.
It looks like the right-hand side of this is the side with all the life.
Mm-hmm.
The right-hand side?
Yep.
The
Sorry.
right-hand side.
The Megan hand side?
Yeah, the right-hand side looks a little less stable than the Megan hand side.
And this one's side might get the current, maybe.
Yeah, that would be the one
Yeah.
in the current.
If no one objects, though, I would like to change my heading just to take a better look at Herc.
I don't
Yeah,
object,
sure.
because I'm going to keep following this
Okay,
feature regardless. I'm not going to use
Can
your...
we zoom
my
that
position.
coral with the squat lobster?
Which one?
Uh,
Oh, I see it.
yeah, you got it.
Something bottle brushy, but unclear what it is. Maybe...
I think it's a black
Yeah,
coral.
I think I'm with you.
It could be like a Stauropathes or something.
Go for zoom.
Going for zoom.
I love how they perch like that. It's really cute.
It's not exactly hiding, is it?
No.
Yeah, that one looks like,
Yeah, it's
starts with an S.
Okay, go wide.
Looks less like an associate, more like a hostile takeover. Oh, that's a nice texture on the rock there. Can you see how
Yeah.
it's vertical there? So this thing is growing. If you, in upper, you can see if you rotate to right in the positive direction, you'll be lined up. You can see these vertical sheets of lava.
Wow.
Let me
It's a
see,
little
just
scary.
down here and here. So that's basically a channel. That's how these things form, that the lava injected up along a crack. So we saw them on the inside of the crater wall.
Oh, so
And
it's
so
a
that's-
dike rock?
Yeah, and so that's why it's, but it's lots of it, and that's why we ended up with this long vertical, this thing with such sheer cliffs. On mid-ocean ridges, the whole of the ocean crust forms that way.
Yeah.
Do you remember we were talking about we needed to do the experiment with we had to requisition all the Oreos so we could actually demonstrate that?
Oh, yeah.
This is
I haven't
exactly
seen you
that.
do that yet. I've been waiting
No,
every
no.
evening when the
I
Oreos come
know.
out. Still got to have that
But we do know,
demonstration.
Megan had it really good about the fact that we should actually warm them up in the microwave
We
as well
should.
to make the center gooey, so we can actually show how
Yeah, how it works.
it's only while it's gooey that you can actually stick another Oreo up inside the first Oreo without it breaking apart.
I've also never eaten a microwaved Oreo, but I
Yeah, I
would
was
be
just gonna
interested
say
to
the
try.
same.
Well, you
That
can't
would
because you have
be-
to wait for it to cool and then you microwave it again and put the next one in. So
I think we need some trial and error to get the right number of
we're
seconds
actually
in the
going to need
microwave.
we're actually going to
so-
need a bigger microwave because I don't think we can get.
over there?
Oh, wow,
my
what is
gosh. Do you know what that is without me going
It's
over
a
there?
paragorgia with a bunch of associates in its branches.
Ooh, let's get a nice
Wow.
image of that on I'm sure that'll be a really good
Yeah.
poster coral for the sanctuary.
Yeah,
And-
it's very beautiful.
Val is also asking if it would be worth a Niskin up here with all these corals, but it sounds like a question rather than a statement.
Well, you said we only have one Niskin left.
Well, we have one Niskin with the original plan, but I guess plans could change. But I will
I
not be
think-
the one to change them. So
I would
Have we already
say
fired 3?
one
fired
fired
we-
accidentally.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had 2 locations, but we fired 3. But even so,
I
this is a
missed
pretty
one of
spectacular location.
Yeah, so Val, we had Niskin 3 accidentally fired at the same time as Niskin 2 about 150 meters ago deeper.
those. Okay, I hadn't realized that 3
Gabby,
fired
would-
when 2 did. I did see that.
Gabby,
I
would
did
this
see
look
2.
even better if you came at it from around the other side?
I don't think so, and the
Okay.
reason I think this is because this will have some dark behind it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Okay.
I think it will only have rock behind it
Okay.
if we look at it the other way. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, we're
Val,
going for picture.
Val, does that change your interest in a Niskin here, maybe?
Okay, go for zoom. I can turn
I'd
around
be
and we can
interested
take
in
it that way too.
Santiago's opinion on that.
Yeah, if we have 3 left, I would suggest maybe we save them for a bit shallower. I
Okay.
know, I want to
so
sample
somebody
all of
can-
it.
If somebody who's interested in this photo can weigh in on how they want me to frame it up.
I think that's perfect.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Do you want-
beautiful.
Do you want
I love
laser
it,
on or
Gabby.
laser off?
Oh, laser off
Nice,
is a
look at the
great
strip in the
call.
back.
So,
Oh, yeah.
lasers off and lasers on.
Yep.
And the pneumaticar sinus is coming in. Oh, look, it's swimming. See?
Oh.
They swim really funny.
Can you pan a little to the right, Gabby?
Yes.
Chris, does that camera take like individual screen grabs, the cinema cam, or? Oh,
We've
we're
been-
looking into nowhere. Yeah. Never mind.
We've been told not to, but maybe we could get one.
Yeah.
But what if there's a sperm whale later?
Okay.
But-
are you guys happy with this, or do you want to try another view?
Very
I've
happy.
got a bunch of pictures.
Okay.
How
Go on.
about we try and get it in lower? And
Could
I
we
think for
zoom
that you will
even
have to
further?
spin around. I think we'll have to come.
Yeah, we
We
will.
won't be able to get.
Let's
Lower
zoom
down
some
that
of
way,
these
but-
little
Oh, yeah, you want to...
Oh, sorry.
snake stars
Yeah,
before we
okay.
leave.
Yeah, we absolutely can do that. Okay, let's go for zoom video.
Going for zoom. I'm going to push in a decent amount.
Yeah, yeah. Here we go.
Pretty.
We love a good polyp shot.
Oh my
Mhm.
You can see this one's mouth.
That's amazing.
These are
Great.
beautiful.
So wonderful.
Okay. Is that what you want?
Yep, that's all I
Okay,
wanted.
go wide.
Going what?
Okay,
Almost deserves
gonna
its own
line this up
photogrammetry study.
in lower.
Yep. And for that, I think we can just have some very lovely rocks as the backdrop. They'll be just fine.
Would you rather go have the rocks as the background?
I think we'll do both.
Okay.
Hello,
I
Sam.
like your rationale for
Yeah, it makes for the most dramatic shots if you've got the black behind it.
yep.
Oh, that is really cool.
Both are.
Okay, did you get the shot?
I've got one. How's autofocus doing there? Does that look sharp? to you
It
in
looks
the
sharp.
Okay. So let's carry on round
Okay.
in the
Right, you can give a holler when I've been too irresponsible.
Oh, how? Yeah.
We're
In
rotating.
any way.
Yeah.
Wraps, getting behind, ending up way downhill. All of the ways that I'm about to do a handover.
Yeah.
Gonna hand over way downhill with several wraps in.
Oh, you can just do a
Tunnel visioned on a shot.
Both
very
ROV
honorable way to be.
are powered through a fiber optic cable that's tethered to the EV Nautilus
Oh, that's a nice one.
Not
This
gas
thing's
powered.
so dramatic. Are you getting some shots that you like there, Chris?
Yep.
Okay, I can get, and then I'll get one more square on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go one more. See, this is the one that Adam's going to like because it's got some of his pillows in the background as well.
It is a nice camera.
Mm.
How you doing there?
We're doing good.
Uh,
We're about at the same spot, but we're fine.
Okay. And Chris, do you have your shots? Oh.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Back to being responsible here.
Shame. That's for the 408. 408, playing it straight.
I didn't realize you have a remote control too, Chris.
Shh.
But yours
He's
is
actually
green
been
buttons.
flying the whole time.
I put the ejector buttons for the front row as well.
Okay, you can pan up now.
Check buttons.
Megan, there's
Yes?
another sample, but for Niskin number 3, don't mark a point for it here though because it was fired with number 2.
Oh, okay.
So I just made a note of it. The next sample number is going to be 242.
Okay, next sample is 242.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for the heads up.
Okay, so let me just.
Hey, Gabby, is it okay for me to
Sure.
take a picture of that blue button?
Oh, yeah, come on over here.
I hope Santiago isn't late for watch tonight. I got my Uber waiting outside.
Come over here.
I don't
Take me
think
over to the
Santiago's
island.
ever leaving. I think he's here to stay.
He's been elusive. He's been like many different places. Oh, there he is.
No, he's been behind us the whole time.
No, he hasn't. He's been getting cake. He's been getting cake from the mess. He can't come in yet. He's got crumbly snacks. Mary was saying Santiago had been here the whole time.
Oh, what now?
And I said, no, you hadn't. You've been,
Is
you've
that a
been
really
fetching
big
cake from the
spot
mess.
lobster?
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
So if I scare it, it'll swim in a really weird way? It's a lobster? It's its own thing. Cool.
Yeah. You ready to
Oh, weird.
take over
I
the
don't
helm?
Ugh.
Cool.
Did you mention the tilt? Okay.
Hello.
Hey, there's
doctor.
a doctor. There's a black coral, so kind of a little bit on the floaty side in the back of the in the very back of the front box. Should be trapped by a scoop, but don't go front boxing all the way out anymore. And you don't get to use the scoop on the port side. Data should know that.
Oh,
Data does know that.
they better.
Yeah.
They do know that.
Yeah, they do.
They best know that. Because they can't get very far. Do 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 do.
Hey.
All right, let's organize this chaos.
rocks you pick up should be small.
Check, check.
Can you hear me,
check?
loud and clear.
Hey, everybody. Cool, cool. All right.
Hello.
Cool. All right. Cool, cool.
Hello.
Oh, let me get this out of the way. What the heck? No, well, we'll turn it on, but it hasn't been useful anyway. Not really.
Alright, how's this thing work again?
No, no. Oh, just the start of watch reminder. Don't forget to mute yourself if your hands are coming near your face.
Alright. We're all here for today.
Good morning. Or, yeah. Well,
Before we
yeah.
keep moving,
Evening?
can we take a look at this coral?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please? So, I've been here the whole time, and we've been seeing a lot of amazing corals. Very high diversity here.
Has diversity changed as we've changed elevation?
We've been seeing mostly the same things, but we've only moved 300 meters vertical.
Oh, okay.
I think we just made it to waypoint 2. So we have quite a ways to go.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can make some tracks during this dive. Try to balance, this is the first time that we get a good dive outside of the crater. And so a lot of things that we're seeing, or most of the things we're seeing are new that we haven't seen before. So we're trying to balance taking images and some samples with also covering ground.
That is very pretty.
Yeah, that's a primnoid coral.
May I have a push, please?
So this is the first one of these species that we see in this dive, which can mean that we're starting to see a transition. We're definitely starting to see more of these yellow ones, the Nalopsamia. Those are stony corals. We didn't see those deeper. This primnoid, the first one we see. The bamboo whips, we've seen a lot of them. The bubblegum corals, we've seen more and more, and larger ones here.
Gang's all here. Push back in there. Sorry, I lost
So
my
we'll see what we
perch
see. I mean, this is we're entering the steeper part of the steepest part of the thermocline. So expect to see a lot of more change over the next 500 meters that we have to reach the peak.
All right, good stuff to look forward to.
Wow, beautiful shot. Yeah, so the one on our right is the Nalopsamia, it's a stony coral. The one on the left is an octocoral, it's a primnoid. Golden coral. and it has a brittle star associated. Thank you for that shot. It was beautiful. So this is a nice kind of.
Our rock's got a
Wow,
lot
that's a
going on.
really good shot because you can see the diversity of things we see. You see a bubblegum coral on the left, Pergnoid. So one of the goals of this dive is to compare the diversity of things of life that we see here outside of the crater versus what we've seen over several dives inside the crater. Right? Although to make that comparison more direct, we have to be within the depth range of observations of the crater. Right. Right now we're deeper than the crater gets. So once we get shallower, we'll be able to assess, are the species that we have seen in the crater also present outside of the crater. Right? I would expect that the species that we see in the crater will be a subset of the species that we see outside of the crater. Although there can be some replacements, species could be absent.
Oh, I see.
I think we're ready to move whenever you are.
All right. And which way are we going?
We're going to waypoint 3.
3, yes. And so that is going to be in heading 175. Bridge nav.
What a cool spot. This
Hi there. Can we step
kind
20
of flat area
meters,
with
heading
steep on both sides
175?
that kind of juts out.
Yeah, this kind of narrow ridge was the feature that we try to target with this dive track. 'Cause this is the kind of terrain that we see a lot of corals. Well, interestingly, how yesterday we saw a lot of sponges, and we've been seeing a lot of sponges. We've only seen one sponge so far.
I'm okay. You all right?
I'm okay.
Or rather, one kind of sponge.
Yeah, yesterday was kind of sponge city. They were everywhere.
They built Sponge City.
Yeah, so a good goal over this watch will be to cover ground, hopefully get to at least 800 meters, hopefully shallower than that.
Yeah, we're currently at 1,185 meters.
That's right. So I'm going to be climbing up this ridge, which is running from the north-south towards the crater, or rather the rim of the crater. So we've been seeing a mix of terrain. You see here there's a lot of broken pieces. Well, this is talus, but we've seen a mix of talus and pillow lavas.
So is this more or less rock that has crumbled down from the top of the ridge?
Yes, so it's, yep. Broken, fractured in pieces and rolled downhill. So you see just above, on the top of the screen, you start seeing some more of those less fractured pillow lavas.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a mix of terrain, You see some more talus and then more whole lavas. You can see those lava tubes there where the pieces have been broken off. But these are much older lava pillows than what we've seen in the crater. I don't know if we have a good age estimate for them, but they are older, so we haven't seen any evidence of eruption on the outside of the crater since we started mapping these seamounts since the late 90s. So this is a Physocordia coral. We've been seeing quite a few of those. Some of them very large.
These rocks look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one looks like it's on fire.
Yeah, all these streaks and colors in them. Jacob, any idea what those different colored streaks could be?
I was talking with Adam about it, and he was kind of saying
heading
that
150.
areas with higher permeability or fractures
Bridge nav.
might allow microbes to kind of enter inside and
Can we step 30 meters, heading 150?
Iron, maybe magnesium, and create these brown streaks. Could just also be normal oxidation.
Cool.
I just really like how marbled everything is. I want it as my countertop.
Yeah. Yeah. The most expensive countertop ever.
Not very practical. We'll have lots of little holes.
Right. And actually, if you don't want it permeable, right?
Right.
So neat how you could see it folded over.
Yeah, you can see here how different
that is cool.
Pile on top of each other, and then the faces of them is broken off. It's an empty one.
Whoa.
We love a hollow rock. We really do.
A tube.
See little creepy eyes staring at us.
See what's inside.
Let's peek.
What would you do? What would you do?
No jump scares, please.
I'll just get the little suction out.
I'm armed.
Get the slurp.
Little slurp out.
I've got a slurp and I know how to use it.
Yeah.
Start fencing with a temp rope.
Yeah, this is interesting because right now we're just like to the west of the top of the ridge, and you see that there's barely any life. It's probably because this crumbly rock keeps breaking and it's not a good substrate, but once we get back on top of the ridge, we'll start seeing a lot more corals and animals that live attached to the seafloor.
Can I have a push, please? Okay.
Yeah, so that's a crinoid. We've seen quite a few of these.
And back up.
What's that?
And 150 is right up and over this.
Copy. I feel like Atalanta is going to swing, catch up.
Yeah.
Anytime now. Also, we were told to not open the porch all the way.
Right, there is a light coral sample in there.
Yeah, it's a black coral in there. It wasn't floating, but got to be careful with those.
kind of weird not seeing all the Cheeto fluff everywhere, too. Actually seeing the rocks themselves and not everything covered in fluff.
The cheetah looks really cool under the microscope.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Wait, wait, we have a microscope?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Oh, we
in
do?
the ROV shop.
Oh.
In the ROV shop.
Where else would you have a microscope?
No, it's there because, like,
Duh.
people take it and look at it. It's like, all right, let's see this mineral you're all bragging about.
All right, well, I guess. So what did it look like under the microscope?
Cheeto.
Yeah, it leaves your fingers all orange.
Why do you have the microscope in the ROV shop? Do you see all the little ROV pieces?
Yep. Exactly.
This sounds suspicious to me.
Do you have a little shrimp on the rock? Or?
Oh, yeah.
He's doing a little pose on there.
It's doing yoga.
A little Lion King. This land is all mine.
Can we have a push on the shrimp?
Everything the light doesn't touch.
Yep.
That looks like downward shrimp.
Oh.
There it is. There's the best joke of the pack.
He's like a different.
Oh, yeah.
Are we waiting on Atalanta move? Or?
Yes, kind of. I just kind of saw that coral over there, thought I'd sneak around, and then the shrimp got pointed out.
Yeah.
So we're going 150, and
We are.
Atalanta is just kind of reacting to that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we have
there's
a
a
fish
fish.
there.
A fish.
Yeah, we've
Bingo.
seen a good number of fish so far.
Gonna have Atalanta catch up to the ship, and then we can change our position a little more to go direct along
What's
the
that
ridge.
guy?
That's a mushroom coral.
Mushroom coral.
So, yeah, we've seen a few of those. Not as many like as we saw. On the
No, I don't think I've ever seen that many.
Me neither. But I'm very curious. Love to sample one, not here, but shallower,
Uh-huh.
just to make sure, or to figure out whether they are the same species that we see in the crater, right? I would expect they are, but if they're not, then that will also tell us that maybe the species that is in the crater could be adapted to living in the crater.
Mm-hmm. And we did sample some from the
From the crater, yeah.
from that high aggregation of corals,
I
of mushroom
don't
corals.
remember if we did from that.
Oh, we just got one at some
I think we
point.
did because we sampled some rocks there and they were like everywhere.
Okay, coming up a bit.
Copy. Switch direction.
Bamboo coral, we've seen, you see, that one has branches, so we've seen this one, and then the whip one's really tall, one's like 3-4 meters tall.
What makes them branch like that?
Indecision.
Like, is it, I'm just wondering, because we've seen some that are so long, right, as a single strand. Is that like in a plant, like you have a damage at some point it forks, or is it just?
I don't think we know. Yeah, there's some species that seem to just don't branch, and some do, and some sometimes. But we don't really know why. That'll be a good project for a PhD student.
Bridge nav.
We are generating new genomes for many of these species now.
Can we step
and
20
so
meters,
that's a
heading
place to start.
160?
I see. So maybe they're just different species or
Right,
something.
you know, would be one way to start
Okay, moving
looking
heading
at that is,
160.
thinking that it's probably genetic. And so if you have several species that are unbranched and several species that are branched, and then you compare their genomes, maybe there are things that are in common with and associated with that branching. And then so you get some candidate parts of the genome that you can focus more on to figure out if there are certain genes or combinations of gene variables that are associated with that, and eventually do some experiments where I'm able to prove some of those ideas.
So much to do.
Yes, there's a lot. Those are hard because we can't really grow these corals in the lab, but there are other model species that we can grow in the lab, and so there's molecular tools that we can use.
Yeah, I'm a little far out.
To start answering some of those questions.
Pretty. There's a.
So there's a Chrysogorgia there. The yellow ones, the fluffy one is a Chrysogorgia. The yellow ones are Nalopsamia. Tito, can you please turn on the lasers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That will help us later when we are analyzing the video to get a sense of how big the animals we're seeing are. I always have to remind myself to remember to ask for the lasers, otherwise later on things are difficult.
I just see some, what are these, bubblegum corals, the tall ones?
The penguin?
The really tall ones, yeah.
Oh, those are bamboo corals.
Bamboo corals. I just see some like down, like off in the distance and down the slope. They're getting really tall.
Yeah, so one thing that we're noticing as we were earlier when we were going over this ridge, which you see is very narrow, is that on life seems to be more abundant on the right hand side than on the left hand side, and that would be, so we're going south, that means that will be the western facing side of the bridge.
In my head, I'm calling those bamboo corals and whip corals are the same thing. Am I wrong in that?
They are. So,
Are we on hold?
not all bamboo corals are whip corals,
Are we moving?
and not all whip corals are bamboo corals.
Okay. But some are both.
Some bamboo corals have a morphology that is that long, single branch, and that's
When
the
I go
morphology
180,
we
it
call
looks
a whip.
like this is a good
Okay, I
direction.
see. So whip is the morphology, not the
That's
type.
right.
Okay, got it.
So they can be.
That's what I needed.
Bridge now.
They can be.
That's helpful for me too.
Thank you, thank you.
So they can be
Proceed,
black
30
corals that
meters,
can be
heading
whips, and
180.
bamboo corals that can be whips, and golden corals that can be whips. There's many different families that can have that morphology. So
Got it.
It can be confusing. Yeah. So you have to get a close up to see what the polyps look like, and a few different features to identify what family they are in. But once you see a few, then you get a sense of what they are. But that
Glad I asked because I was confused about that.
Yeah, I know. It can be confusing. So it's very specific to the region where you are and the depth that you are. That's when, often people send me and other of my colleagues pictures of different corals and be like, what is this? And be like, well, can you tell me where this is taken and what depth? Because that's very helpful to identify them.
How often are you woken up in the middle of the night with a random coral shot, like picture of a coral?
I don't wake up for that.
Oh, okay.
Unless I'm like, an expedition like this when
Do
I'm
not
participating
disturb.
from shore.
Get closer? Okay. Yeah.
Usually they're not emergencies.
So
I
right.
can wait.
Very rarely is there a coral
Sure.
emergency that.
A coral emergency.
Yeah. Sometimes there are, but
Quick, we need a doctor.
yeah. Although when when we fill out our scientists ashore form for Okeanos cruises and Nautilus cruises, for example, they do ask for your cell phone number so they can call you. I'm not sure how often that happens.
Yeah.
I've never been called. Just unless I was actively participating. Yeah. Usually we have the chat for that.
Yeah.
But I can envision, finding something very unexpected and exciting that may be very puzzling to people on a ship, and so those would be a good situation to call an expert on the matter, whatever it is, right?
I do remember back in 2016 when we had the mysterious purple orb, it was this nudibranch that we were trying to call everybody, figure out what this thing was that we had sampled.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
Another Chrysogorgia. So I'm noticing we're seeing less of the bathypathes, black coral, that look like a feather. We saw quite a few at the beginning of the dive deeper, and they were large. There was half a meter tall corals, which is impressive because they usually are not very big, maybe a foot or shorter. But I haven't seen them in a while. There's a shrimp next to this Chrysogorgia coral.
Did you see that was a bamboo coral?
This is a golden coral.
Golden coral.
Chrysogorgia.
Okay.
See ya.
Wait, am I imagining this, or do you see particles coming out of this coral? Maybe it's the background.
What'd you say?
Should we hang out for a minute and see?
Yeah, I thought there were some particles coming out of this coral, but I think it might be the background.
That would have been exciting, huh?
I have seen only once these corals releasing gametes. Only once. I was in Indonesia. I was just encountered a field of these corals, and they were releasing.
All at the same time? Like a mass spawning event?
It looked like it, but once again, it was at the end of the dive. It was like,
Why does always the best things happen at the end of a watch or the end of a dive?
I don't know.
We stepped 10 meters, heading 230.
And we never saw that again. Never went back.
Are corals known to do that? Like, kind of coordinate when they release their gametes?
Definitely in shallow water. For most species in the deep sea, we don't know. We don't know when they reproduce or if they are synchronized. There are good reasons to be synchronized. Right? It increases the chances of success, reproductive success. Right?
One of the things yesterday, Santiago, I had asked you, we'd seen a lot of these really giant corals and sponges, but we don't see like smaller, medium-sized ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not, right?
Moving the ship over.
Shouldn't we see them?
Jacob, could you confirm if we have already sampled a cup coral? I know we tried earlier, but I can't recall if we succeeded or not.
Let's see. We do. We have a cup coral in subturret number 2.
Oh, we do. Okay, great.
Yep.
So interestingly, you see fewer animals here. Tito and ROV team, I was wondering if
Yes.
there is a chance to increase our pace over ground, or is this kind of like limited by the steepness of the terrain?
I think we can go a bit slower.
0.3. Copy that. So we're still heading 180.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you say.
I don't know if we're meant to go that fast.
We'll bump it up to
Oh, you're discussing? Okay,
0.3
sorry.
knots.
Sounds good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know it going over this terrain is not necessarily easy, but
Bridge nav.
if possible, that'll give us an opportunity to see more of the dead ranges
at 0.3 knots.
that we hope to cover during this dive.
So, at which of these waypoints are we at the same depth where we were when we were inside the cone?
Yeah, so the crater, the deepest part of the crater is around 960 meters. But that's at the base of the moat where, you know, we really didn't see anything other than some fish, some of those eels, and some shrimp swimming around. But we started really seeing animals colonizing the rocks around, I would say, shallower than 800 meters.
So like waypoint 6, around waypoint 6?
Let's see, there's a table. Yeah, around waypoint 6 and shallower. So we are at waypoint, almost waypoint 3, so yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. I hadn't actually looked at relative to the waypoints when that would be.
Are those little specks the carnivorous sponges?
I don't think so. We haven't really seen them. You mean the white ones?
Yeah, see those little specks down there at the bottom of the screen?
I see them. I don't think we've zoomed on those. I see the mushroom corals.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Well, there are some of those white specks that were cup corals. That's what I was asking Jacob, because I know we were trying to sample them. We started seeing them on this vertical wall, and it was really hard to get to.
Oof. Imagine sliding down this on a piece of cardboard.
That sounds fun. So let's see more of the mushroom corals, Anthomastous. I mean, interesting, we're seeing more and more of them and less of the bigger corals. Yeah. Yeah, so this slope is much more sedimented than we were seeing earlier. That makes sense based on the bathymetry. Like, I think so far during this dive we've been going over steeper terrain, so there was more exposed rock and less sediment accumulation. But now we're entering a zone of much more gradual slope, and you can see all the sediment that we did try to poke at it with the push core earlier.
Yes. Can we step
but it was thin, very thin layer.
0.
So it was just a dusting, but I guess that's enough to prevent colonization of any larger animals.
Love a push core.
No push core, no.
Would it be possible to get a slurp of it, or would that not work?
Or? We didn't try.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible. There might be a couple other places where we can actually try to for a push core. So an opportunity of, a deeper pocket of sediment that could be more successful. So I see a few large shrimp cruising over the sediments.
We have 10 meters until waypoint 3.
So as we reach waypoint 3, our next waypoint is gonna bring us to the southwest. We're gonna there's a bit of a shift in the ridge that we're following, so it's not a straight line.
So instead of going straight there, so do you want to follow the ridge a bit? And then
I think we can go, can you zoom out actually, please?
Yes.
Just want to see what the next, after that, what the next waypoint after 4 is, and what the terrain looks like. 5. I think actually I would like to go straight towards 5. You see that there's a bit of a ridge in between 3 and 5?
Yes.
I think we will just, if we go straight, we'll just get on top of it. So maybe skip 4 and then go towards 5.
All right, we'll go straight towards 5.
Thank you. Look at these big mushroom corals.
I was looking at the map and
yeah, me too.
Snuck up. It's amazing how a sedentary creature can sneak up on you.
And you can see a couple of cup corals next to it, to the left.
Oh, yeah.
Family photo.
Beautiful.
Oh, how pretty, yeah.
And these are cup corals?
These are, well, the white ones are cup corals.
Okay. These are...
The red ones are mushroom corals.
Okay.
Really pretty bright red color.
Yes. I don't know if you saw the big fan bubblegum corals that we were seeing earlier. Beautiful, yeah.
Really mature looking, too.
Yeah, very large corals. Also very large Cerrito gorges, like 3-4 meter tall ones.
Some of the ones earlier in the dive looked like bonsai trees. They were so dense with little polyps and...
Actually, Gabby, I was thinking.
Yep.
You see, so that I was referring to that ridge just to the east of waypoint 4.
Over here?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So you want to turn more there?
Yeah, maybe let's get. We can maybe trace a line a bit shallower than that, so more to the south. Yeah, like over there, and then we can just follow that to waypoint 5.
Awesome. So we'll go heading 214.
Thank you.
Or if you want to make it easier on the compass, 215. 215. Bridge nav.
Yeah, this is a much
Step 30
gentle
meters,
slope
heading
and
215.
Sediment, pyroclastic sediment, and lighter particles. I wonder, Jake, what do you think the lighter particles on top of the, like what's sitting on top of the sediments are oxidized particles, so they could be different kind of composition from the dark ones.
I'm not sure. It might just be the lighter particles are from. Could it be just from like normal sedimentation? Maybe.
Oh, you mean from water column?
Yeah.
Just biogenic one.
Maybe.
Sedimentation. Yeah, you're right. It could be.
I'm not sure.
This looks like a highway.
Yes, you can
like
see.
they were drag racing or something.
Yeah, those look like current ripples. Wow, those mushroom corals are really large. You see that one is over 10 centimeters wide. It's like almost like
chunky.
like a volleyball. I see a few small corals on the right. That's kind of the direction we're heading, because this seems to be a bit more of a rich and steeper terrain there. You can see less sediment cover and just more rock fragments here.
So are they holding on to rocks that are underneath the sediment?
Yes, some of them, some, most likely most of them, the ones we're seeing, yeah. And some, some corals are adapted to live in sediment or on sediments. I think we were talking about this the other day. They create these structures that look like roots, but these sediments are very thin, so I don't think that will be a good. Those kind of species, I don't think they'll do well here because they don't really have sediment to kind of grow into.
So they probably landed, held on, and then the sediment form like kind of settled around them.
Right. Yeah.
Versus like pushing through like a plant would.
Yeah. Although I bet the larvae can maybe
burrow
brush a little
in.
bit aside, but it has to be a thin layer. That's a crinoid. So we're seeing a few. I don't think we've seen this particular species before, but there were others deeper. I don't know the species of crinoids. Megan is really good at all the species, but.
Bridge nav. You step another 30 meters.
This sediment looks like a different texture to me. I think it's like bigger, more pelleted than...
The sediment, you mean?
Yeah, the sediment. Or is it just...
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a mixture of fine sediment and kind of pebble particles, so it's probably rolling downhill from... you can see some larger boulders here. And probably we'll see more of those uphill. So we reached kind of the top of that ridge that we were climbing, and then kind of going over a bit of a trough. I thought this looks much steeper than the bathymetry suggests.
Yeah, it does.
something in the distance. Something swimming down there.
Oh, yeah, looks a little. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that is.
What we got?
I'm just seeing something down the incline, like swimming around.
Mermaids?
Yeah, probably.
Jana wants to see a mermaid.
Mermaids. Oh, it could just be the reflection of a fish. That's a lot closer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's so still.
The water's starting to look a bit murkier here.
Yeah.
It was very clear.
Fish.
It doesn't even look like he's trying. Ultimate go with the flow.
215.
Yeah, it's like a fog settled in.
Are you wanting to fly over this area since it goes down so steep?
Are you asking me?
Yes, Santiago.
Do you mean? Oh, I see. Because it would be like a downhill.
To get to the next ridge.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so you just want to fly to the next ridge. Just take a little hop over.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So we save some time on the way up and get to that area where we'll see, continue to like see more exposed rock.
So Tito, I want to go heading 220 and
That anemone looks familiar.
jump to the next ridge.
Sure. I think I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
220.
220.
And you can speed it up a little bit for mid-water.
Yeah, there's much fewer corals here. We'll see what
How far
things
is
look like on top of the next ridge.
It is.
Is it because it's
It says only about
flattening
60
out?
meters.
Yeah, it could be just because also it's not that exposed to current, so it's not a great spot for suspension feeders to capture particles.
Bridge nav. Can we step 50 meters heading 220?